Good evening, everybody. Let's get that central. How are you all? Hope you are all well. I'll just wait for you to hop on and join me. So tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different, which is how to read a peyote pattern, which in particular has a free download for this pen. So I'm going to be talking you through how you can actually read the pattern, showing you how to create it, and also I'm going to be showing you a few hacks along the way as to how you can do your own designs as well along the way. So I'm just going to hold fire for a moment and hope that you will all start joining shortly. But do give me a thumbs up if you're joining live or if you're joining a little bit later on the replay, and do pop me a note in the comments as well so I know you were present with me. So if you are joining me, please do pop a comment so I know you're with me now, and just let me know that you can see me, you can hear me okay as well. Hello, Maxine. Thank you for joining. Maxine, can you see me and can you hear me okay? I do hope you can. Hello, Kim. Lovely to have you both join. Yeah, all good. Fantastic. So I'm going to show you some of the samples that I've created from doing the peyote. Now, do let me know if anybody's interested. I've actually got a downloadable pen topper that matches the needle case. I've got kits. I just need to restock for the needle case and the seahorse as well. So the lids come off on that. So we're going to be using the same platform as well and pattern styles to create those. There's also a downloadable pattern for the candle as well, the Christmas candle. Once you get into it, it's really quite straightforward. So that's another, that was one of my first seahorses that I did. That's one that my partners nabbed. All okay, brilliant. But do let me know how many of you have used peyote patterns. Have you found it a challenge? How have you got on with it? Now, I'm hoping that when I go on the overhead, it's all going to be the right way round. So let's try. So you should have, that should be on your left. That should be on your right. Can you just let me know if you can actually see these in the right format? And we will zoom in. So Kim has used peyote patterns before. They're pretty straightforward once you know what you're looking for. All correct. Brilliant. So what we'll start off with first of all. So this is to make this pen topper. Now, first of all, I'm using a Pilot G207 pen. Top tip, I've tried, okay? I thought, oh, I can get a cheaper alternative. Well, you can, but if you do that, you're going to have to change your pattern, because this pattern actually fits this, and any others that you get will have a deeper sort of pen element there. So basically what happens is you unscrew this and it goes on. So like I say, I found alternatives, but you have to actually alter your pattern to fit. Hello, Sue. Lovely to have you join. So first of all, on this downloadable pattern, you can find it either on the YouTube, it's in the comments, or in the comments on Facebook. You just literally click on it and it'll take you straight into the downloadable instructions. Now, first of all, if we look across here, we've got bead A, bead B, bead C, bead D. Okay, which is really handy because it'll say pick up 2A, 1B, all that sort of thing. So you know which one you're talking about. Next is the codes. So with Miyuki Delicas, they're all generic codes that relate to the different colours in your palette. They're size 11 Miyuki Delicas. They're like building blocks. So you will get a totally different effect. You can do peyote with just ordinary size 11s, but you probably won't get the same fit as we're looking at here. So that's your code. If we move down, you've got count 147. That means we're going to use 147 A beads, 643 B beads, 80 C beads, and 90 D beads. Now, I've worked it out through a bit of research, and roughly 200 Miyuki Delicas equals 1 gram. So you can see from here that you'd need just under 1 gram of A. You'd need 3.5 grams of B, less than half a gram for C, and just less than half a gram for D. Okay, so that's a useful little tip. And this is just a photograph just to show you what the pattern looks like, and then that's a closer one. So in effect, some people actually read the pattern this particular way. Now we will be working this way, so some people actually read the pattern this way. So the first 2 rows are made in the first row, so I'll explain that, but there's a simpler way. There's a simpler way to do it. So this is called the picture chart. Okay, but what we're going to work from is actually this one, the word chart. So this word chart tells us that we pick up 1A, 5B, 1A, 1C, etc. And it's also telling you the first row we work row 1 and 2. That'll become clearer on your 3rd row. And this L here tells you on your pattern you're working left to right. And then when you get in the next one, you're doing right. So that'd be right to left. So effectively, if you follow this chart, this is the way to do it. So I'm relying on you guys having your pattern. So I'm just going to put the pattern out the way, and I'm going to bring my seed beads in. Right, let's pop this to the right. Now, I know I sold these a little while back, and they're quite handy because you've got A, B, C, and D. So I've actually laid out, so if we go back to this, I've laid out these colours here, so I don't have to keep referring back to the pattern as to what's A, what's B, what's C. And right, what we're going to do is just pop that further up there, like so. I'm going to pop one of these springy things on the bottom, and just keep all my beads nice and neat at the bottom. Let's just go back out a wee bit. Okie dokie. Right, so firstly, I'm going to pick up 1A and 5B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1A, 1C, 9B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you'll always have more on your first row because you're working row 1 and 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So if you've got, let me know if you've got the pattern printed and if you're following the pattern with me. Okie dokie. So we've done 9B. We've got 1A, 1C, 5B, 3, 4, 5. The only thing that I find about these is a slightly different material to our beading mats, and it's not quite as easy to pick them up, but it's a useful tool. Hello, Carol, lovely to have you join. So 1C, 1A, 10B, 1, 2, see what I mean? They get kind of stuck, your needle gets stuck on the threads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's push some of these on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think what I'd kind of suggest, I think the best way forward is to actually have beads from each of them on your bit at the bottom on your beading mat, and it just makes it a lot quicker to pick up, but you've still got your reference points as in the letters. So how many was that? 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1C, 1A, 5B, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. 5. And then 1A. Now I suggest that you could do a quick check before you do your next row. So I've got 1A. I've made a mistake already, so I'm missing a B bead. Let's add those on. But what have you all been up to today? Have you been making the most of it being dry? Right, that should be better. So 1A, 5B, 1A, 1C, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 1A, 1C, 5, 1C, 1A. Right, I'm going to stick with that for now rather than double check, but do double check if you're doing the pattern. I'm just really showing you how you do all of it. Right, so what we're going to do next, let me just show you the pattern, is we're going to work the next one. So you read it again from here. So we're going to pick up 1A, which is this one. And this is where the peyote starts. And we're going to miss out the first one and go through the second. And you want that little bit at the bottom to sit like feet. This takes a little bit of coaxing, bear with. That's it. Okay, and then the next bead we pick up is a B. So you pick up the B, skip a bead, and go through the next one. And pull that tight. The first bit is a real pain to get going. There we go. And then the next one is a B. So you skip a bead and go through the next one. I'll just read out your things in a minute after I've just finished this row. Okay, and the next one is an A bead. So you bring one down and you go through the next one. So you're always skipping a bead. And remember, even though you've only done 2 rows, this is counted as row 3. And then we've got 5 B beads next, but not all at once. Go through. So some of you may have done peyote before, but possibly not in a pattern. And if you stay with me to the end, I will show you some tips I've never shared before, and I've never shared with you where I've done my patterns before either. Right, I've gone wrong there. Didn't skip a bead. And also I suggest that you tick off after every row you've completed as well. But if you're joining me late, please do give me a thumbs up. Do pop me a note in the comments so I know you're with me. But if you did miss the start, you can join me. You can watch it back afterwards on the replay. And the materials are available in the group for this. I've got a little kit. So the next one is an A bead. So we're going to skip that one and go through the next one. But can you see this okay? Is it clear enough for you? Okay, and right, so we've got an A, so we've got 3B next. No, 5B. 5B? No, we've done that. 5B, 1A, 3B. Who's got their pattern in front of them? Who's done the download so far? That's 1, 2, 3. Right, I added 2 there. Right, there we go. Let's move that out of the way. If you don't have the sort of letter mats, then I suggest you just put them out in the order, your A, B, C and D, so you don't have to keep checking what colour's which. Oh gosh, I've added 2 on there again. This is where top tip, okay, is if you find it's the end of the day and you're losing concentration, it's not always a good time of day to be doing it. So 1A next. So skip 1, go through the next. And then we've got 4B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1C, which is your gold. Just to say as well, if you've already got Miyuki Delicas at home, you can replace colours on the pattern to suit as well. And then we've got 3B, and that should finish our row. 1. Always keep your tension nice and tight. 2. There's a little stray one at the top there. And then we'll just have a quick pause, and I'll just do a quick recap for those of you that have just come a bit later. Right, okay. So that is row 1, 2 and 3 complete, even though technically you've only just done 2 rows. Okay. So Maxine said, sorry, I missed how much thread. Now, I would suggest that you work with as much as you can, maybe 2.5 meters. Otherwise, you'll be adding in thread, and that's just really faffy. So Carol says, been beading and knitting with my granddaughter, Rhoda's daughter. She's 9 now. Oh, that's so lovely. What a special thing to do. Kim's been driving Sam, but could have done with a rest after driving home yesterday. I bet Kim. Kim hasn't had time to be doing anything. I totally get that. Jan is with us on YouTube. Couldn't find us on Facebook tonight. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. It should be pinned to the top of the group and the Facebook page as well. Hello, Linda. Thank you for joining. Right. Okay. So this is what we're doing. We are following our free downloadable pattern, which is for this pen topper. Now, to find the downloadable link, you need to either go to the relevant post on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube, it's actually in the comments there as well. So what we just did is I just talked you through the fact that at the top of the pattern, you've got your A, B, C, D, your codes, the count, the number of beads, and roughly there's 200 per gram. Now on the chart, we are doing 44 columns, that's down, and 22 rows. Okay, so some people read the pattern this way, where if you look closely, you can see you've got the letters of the relevant beads. That is not that easy. So we've got this word chart, and that tells us what we do. So rows 1 and 2 are worked together. So we've just completed our 3rd row. So this left and right here tells you on the pattern if you're working left to right, right to left. Now I would suggest ticking off the patterns that you've done, the rows that you've done. We're now on row 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a bit more peyote, and I'm going to share with you a bit of a hack I've never shared before, which is where I do my designing. It's also a free platform. I pay for mine because it prints out my word chart, my patterns for me. Now, Jan is saying, can you adapt it for different circumferences? Now, yes, and I'll show you how you do that on the pattern. I don't know how you work it out. Obviously, this is for your pilot pen. So for your pilot pen, you can use the same columns and rows, but if you're using a different pen, it will need to be longer and wider. So that is just something, like when I was designing this really took me a while because I needed to fathom out how many rows it needed Jan saying she likes the word charts best, but can work out either picture or chart, which is fab, because you know, you don't always get a word chart with your peyote pattern. So for row 4, we're going back down. So I'm adding and stabbing myself there. Not the best. Right. And there we go. So we're working back down. 2B. What I was also saying as well is, if firstly, for this pattern here, to fit the pen, you need to stick to the Miyuki Delicas, because standard seed beads are a different size and it won't fit around your pen. You can, however, obviously still do a, right, I've done wrong, bear with, let's just go back. I should have started with an A, when you can see the mistake from the outset. So yeah, stick to your Miyuki Delicas, but what you can do is, say you've got 4 different colour Delicas at home that you want to have a play with. You can always replace the colours I've done. But I will show you what platform I use to design mine. And what I love about the platform is the fact that you can also design your brick stitch patterns as well. So row 4, bear with. There are some things that don't work so well on there that are quite irritating, but it's just a case of getting used to it. I think I literally pay a ridiculous amount of, I think it's £4 a month, and that enables me to keep my catalogue of patterns. So if, for example, I want to go back and I want to change this pattern, I've still got the template of the rows worked, but it's a really clever little thing. And you can also buy from Amazon or online, you can buy the books as well, or you can get free downloads where you can actually draw your own as well. So you sort of colour in all of the different bits and pieces. I'll try and find mine afterwards to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C1. But I've got a couple of the seahorse patterns. I'll show you the seahorse kits left as well. You can also buy these bundles from a Facebook group. I can't remember how much they were now. 1, but they're going quite fast. 1. Right, so row 4, C1, 1, 2, C1. It's quite difficult to concentrate and talk on this one, I'm not going to lie. B5, 1. But has anybody else found a platform online that they find that's quite useful? But I do love so much the effect that you get from this working with Delicas. Oh, I've added 2. This is what I'm saying. It's quite hard to concentrate. You're probably going, well, you probably noticed it sooner than I did, the fact that I was picking up 2. But I love the fabric-like feel of the Delicas. They really are so beautiful. They're a little bit more pricey than the other beads, but they're really, really worth it, and they come in some absolutely glorious, glorious colours. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're really into this, I've got, you can, I think it's like £3 for the downloadable patterns that I've got as well. So Jan is saying she just prints out a grid and use coloured pencils to make a pattern, which is perfect. Right, so B1. Oh, I'm actually building in my other colour. I'm using a slightly different colour here, but it gives you an indication. And B1. Okie dokie. So that is row 4 completed. So I'm going to tick off my row 4. What I'd suggest you do as well is, obviously, if you're buying a pattern and it's already printed for you, I'd suggest that you actually keep a copy. So I've got a pen download in the seahorse as well for the paint topper. I've also got a downloadable for the heart one as well. Now I really must resurface these kits because I've got all the needle cases ready, but I've done patterns for the needle case where you've got these beautiful little rivolies at the bottom. Ever so pretty, really nice projects to do, ones that I've designed. So we're going to go on to row 5 for next. But everybody following are all okay so far? You love the hearts. They're really pretty, aren't they? And I like the fact that you've got matching pen and needle case, even though I know I had my pen the other day, my heart pen, but I don't know what I've done with it. So we're introducing the D beads. 1A. So we're starting to get some pattern definition in there now. B for 5. 1. 2. So I'm using Miyuki thread. As I said to you before, is when I am doing a live, I don't like using your thicker wildfire thread. It's one of my favourites for working with, but not for demoing with, because it's not that easy to thread your needle. So, you know, there's pros and cons of both. Now, why have I got a random bead hooked on there? There we go. Right, bear with. Hey. Right, I'm just going to undo a bit because I've gone slightly wrong somewhere and it'll really, really irritate me. There we go. I managed to twist it somehow. I'm not quite sure how. You probably can see what I was doing. So welcome to anybody that's joining us a little bit later on. So we're on row 5 and A1, 5B. 1. It twisted around when I dropped it. I thought you'd probably spot it. See, it nearly did it again then. 2. But do keep your eye on the ball as you're doing it and just make sure that it's all going correctly. The other thing that's really, really irritating sometimes with these is you can go through the middle of your thread, which is what you call splitting the thread. And that can create some funny little twists and turns as well. Right, so that's 5 of those. 1A. So 1B. And then 2D. So no. 1A, 1B, 1D. One B, 1A. You can pretty much see if you're going right as you're going along as well, because your sort of darker ones should all marry up as well. 1D, 1A, 4, 4B, 1. So what we'll do after this row is we will just talk about how you continue the pattern, what do you do to finish off, and then we'll look at the platforms as well that I mentioned to you. So we've got a few more people joining, so welcome, thank you for joining. Do pop us a note in the comments so I know you're present. So we've got C, no, it's a gold one, C1. Okay, B1. D1. Okay, and B1. Right, so that's our row 5 complete. So basically, that's where we're at so far. So you want to make sure that everything sits right, that you haven't got any, that it's not straying off in one particular direction. Okay, so let me just show you the pattern now. So you would continue and then you turn over. So there's 44 rows. Now, just to say, feel free to sell the work that you've created from my pattern, but please, if you could give me credit for the pattern and mention me in anything you've made. So that basically will create this. So what you do is when you've finished your 44 rows, what you do is you do something called zipping up. So you fold it over and you will zip up either side. So you will go from one side to the other. I have done a tutorial before on zipping up. So effectively, if you look at this, you'd bring in 2 halves and you just stitch each of the beads in and out, weave in and out. I can always cover that with you in another time if you want me to. So what we're going to have a look at now, it's really exciting, is the platform that I use. Okay, So we're going to go into sharing, add to stage. There we go. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger. Okay, I hope you can see this okay. So now if I go into that, bear with. No, not that one. No, that one. Okay. Now, if I actually go onto that page, I do hope you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. Can you just let me know if you can see what I'm doing? Can you see? Right, I'll just go on to it. So basically over the right hand side, can you see my mouse here? So this is my pattern. This is the actual beads as well. And this is the pattern that I have created. So please do pop me a note in the comments just to let me know if you can actually see that screen okay. I'll just wait. Now, the actual platform is called beadpatternmaker.com. So I'll pop that in. I'll share that in the comments. There we go. So that is on there. Not sure why it's repeated several times. So that's actually, so if one of you could just comment, I know there's a bit of a time delay. You can. Brilliant. So I will carry on. So this is called BPM Bead Pattern Maker. So if we go into file here and new, so plan your, so we could say, right, 44 columns, 22 rows, and stitch. So you can do brick stitch, you could do it on a loom, you can do just peyote. And oh, I didn't realize that must be a new feature that you could do. You've got some standard things there. So you press start. Okay, so then you would go over here, and if you've got the code, like for example DB 0001, you can select that one, and then you can colour this in here. Okay. Now this is the wrong way round, and I can't actually remember how I got it to go the other way round now, but I will just show you anyway sort of how you would go about that. So you would colour in, you can colour in down here. There we go. Such a cool little tool. So if you want to go back into palettes again, and you've got another number, DB, let's have a look. First 50 bead palettes. Let's choose gold lined. So I think this one fills the whole thing in. So you've got lots of little tools. Now we're on the printable one. So rotate pattern. So that's actually the way up. So I've rotated it. So that's how we actually want it. So we're creating the pattern going this way. And then we would transform it. I can't actually remember how I did it now. But that's also if you want to go to the right, if you want to go up, down, and then you can save it. So you could save this as a test, and then that saved that into your archives. So what I've got here is I've got all of my patterns saved for me. The only thing that I don't know is whether or not you can do that on the free version. So you can see it okay. Anything you want to know about this at all? Any questions that you've got at all? Do let me know. Let me see what else is there. So if I press print, right, okay. So when I press print, it will actually come up with your word chart for you. And then you can export it as a PDF. So I just think that is so incredibly clever. But obviously, you know, you can take your time filling in different bits, change colour. So it's such a clever little tool. And then, of course, you can start new and you could do your brick stitch. So you get your different pattern on there as well because you've got your brick stitch. So really useful little tool. So do pop me a note in the comments if you think that's something that you might want to give it a go. Let's come off the overhead. The only other thing I just want to show you, if I can just grab it, is the book that I use for actually doing the written patterns as well. So bear with. I'll just see if I can grab it. It's not far away. I think. No. No, I thought I could put my hand on it, but sadly not. But you can purchase, I know you can certainly get them from Amazon, little brick stitch templates, you know, whether you've just got the little blocks that you colour in, same for peyote as well. So Kim says she uses that. I have the book from Amazon. Brilliant. The other book that I think is really worth mentioning, I've had this for a little while and I really love it. It's called Jewelry Making Journal. And it doesn't have your charts in there, but it has, oh, I can see it's been daisified. It's been all coloured in. But you've got in there project pages. So you've got item name, notes, you can draw your picture, what components you need. It's just a really clever little manual, which you've got some necklace designing at the back. And also, if you want to log where you bought things from and how much they cost, you've got a little section in the back as well, which is great for working out how much you want to charge for things. So yeah, don't forget that you can download this free of charge, and there's also other patterns available on my website, beadsbyverchiel.co.uk. I've got brick stitch patterns. I think I've got an owl. I've got the seahorse pen topper. I think it's about £3. The heart pen topper. So anyway, hello Carrie, do not worry, no problem. Do watch it back on replay when you get a chance. But I do hope that's helped. I do hope you enjoyed that little insight into reading, creating, and do be sure to share your makes in Beaders of Beads by Verchiel. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. See you very soon. Take care. Bye.